What's good, guys? I'm finally back on the YouTube brand. Today I've got a banger video for you guys, how to make 7 figures in e-com in 2026. And this is a no BS guide. I don't have a course to sell you. This isn't like an upsell for you to join mentorship or any of that stuff, right? This is exactly what's working right now. Things I'm doing for myself and for my clients, right? So I'm gonna be looking at my other screen here. This is where this beautiful mirror board is. And without further ado, let's just get straight into it, right? So how to make 7 figures. I use this number specific because that's actually the figure I printed exactly. And this is in 2026, right? This is what's working right now. So what this is about, what's printing right now, the same system I'm using to scale my own brands as well as my clients' brands, right? And then this is no theory BS, and this isn't like some old school shit where, this used to work. No, this is what's working right now, right? One thing you'll realize is the fundamentals of e-commerce will always stay the same, but now with AI, all of these things, there's a lot of leverage that we have. So I think there's no excuse for anybody to actually make money online. So let's get straight into it, right? So as you can see, cooked up this beautiful mirror board. There's 14 steps here. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. Make sure you guys have a pen and paper, and without further ado, let's just get straight into it, right? So step number 1, scrape Reddit for untapped problems, right? Reddit is such a good platform that I don't see many people talk about or actually utilize, right? So what you wanna do is, well, first things first, most people when they go into Reddit, right, they go into different forums like eCommerce, dropshipping, Shopify. You don't wanna do that, right? That's like crabs in a bucket mentality. What you do wanna do is go into different subreddits. Let me just zoom in a bit more. Go into different subreddits like back pain, insomnia, posture, productivity, right? There's so many different pain points and different subreddits based on pain points, right? And what you want to do is combine that and then also search using high intent phrases. So for example, I've tried everything, nothing works, desperate for, please help. You can have a think of more phrases, or just use AI, use these as like a base and then use AI to build upon them. And then from there, what you're going to find is there's going to be so much valuable data points and information, right? And now what you're going to do is peel back the layers. You're going to work backwards, right? Because now you understand, okay, these are the problems that people are having. A lot of people have tried this product, that product, it hasn't worked well, right? And what's good is these people already have bought products. They're ready to buy. They have a history of spending money, but the money that has been spent hasn't fulfilled their needs. So they're obviously looking for better solutions, right? And then what you want to do is just extract product opportunities, right? So for example, if you do insomnia, I've tried everything. Someone's tried melatonin, tried magnesium, they've spent a lot of money and it's still not working, right? So the result is, sleep aids, melatonin and magnesium isn't working for this person, right? So what you do is now you look for a gap, right? Now you have a gap, and we're gonna obviously move on to step number 2, but this is a gap that we're gonna be able to exploit, and it's free. Reddit is free to use. Cool. So step number 2 is, this is very important, right? You want to validate demand with Google Trends, right? Because you can have like the best idea ever, but if there's no demand for it, it's not really going to work out, and you're just digging your own grave. Now, of course, in some cases you can create demand for certain products, but you don't want to reinvent the wheel, right? So use Google Trends. There's many other platforms. Google Trends is free and simple to use. And in simple terms, right? Just type in multiple keywords based around that product or niche, and you want to see something like this, whether it's flatlined or growing, right? And what's nice about this is past 5 years, so you can filter by past 5 years and past 12 months. This has consistently stayed above 80. This is amazing stuff, right? If this was consistent, but it was like at 20, 30, I wouldn't recommend that. But because it's been above 80 for the longest, I think this is great, right? And this is just one keyword. So obviously you want to gather more keywords and more search terms. And then obviously, you want to cross-reference your demand as well. So go on TikTok, go on Amazon, which we're going to touch on, go on YouTube as well. There's even different things like a Google Keyword Planner. And obviously we're going to discuss those sort of things further on. But I just give you one example of what you can do to validate the demand, right? Step number 3, analyze Amazon bestsellers, right? So obviously Amazon is an amazing platform. It's the biggest e-commerce platform. Jeff Bezos done amazing things there, right? So what you want to do is just analyze your top 20 products based on whatever niche. So let's say now I was in, like helping sleep aid products. You want to find products around that on Amazon, right? You want to really understand the AOV. You want to understand the features, different USPs, different benefits. And then what's also important is actually look for products that have 1-star reviews and then also go through the Q&As. Now, gather this information in a doc or whatever. You definitely want to use AI to leverage this, but this is going to be very important because, you know, people are buying these products, but they're not working well. So obviously just improve them, right? Get the basis of them, but improve them in many ways based on people's feedback, right? So for example, let's say there's an AOV of around 45 to 80. Here are some common features, right? What you want to analyze is a lot of, let's say for example, like a lot of the products, it stops working after 2 weeks, the taste is bad, it takes too long to ship. Here are some things you already have for you to instantly improve on, right? And start marketing to people, right? And then obviously opportunity gaps, like I just said, better taste, faster delivery, sustained effectiveness, and you know, this is how you differentiate yourself from the market, right? And have USPs. And that's a very big thing in today's market, is you really want to have a good product and a good USP to stand out. Cool. Furthermore, by the way, sometimes I speak a bit fast, so let me know in the comments below if you need me to slow down. Sometimes I just get, you know, geeked and excited about these topics. So now let's say, you know, you pick a niche and product. What you want to do is you want to, based on these, the previous steps, you want to pick a niche and the product, right? Start with a niche first, and then the product. It'll be easier to find the product. But I think finding the niche is going to be very important, right? So obviously don't pick randomly. Don't just rip products from Kalo data. Use the steps I just provided for you guys. And here's a good criteria. Failing solutions, hitting like a product with, or niche with multiple pain points is very, very, you know, powerful. I think just selling to people's needs and emotions is like God level marketing, right? And then of course repurchase potential. You want a good AOV as well. So I said $40 plus, but obviously the higher the better. $40 is a sweet spot. And then of course growing demand, which you can cross-reference with like Google Trends, Keyword Planner, and that sort of stuff. Here are some categories that I find work well. You have health, sleep, pet health, productivity, pain relief, jewelry is another one. I think one that I like to stay away from is electronics, fashion, and the products that are just super low AOV, like gadgets and stuff like that. It's just, there's really just no longevity in that. Cool, so this is where it gets juicy, right? So step 5, use Gemini for positioning, right? So now let's say you've got your niche, you've got a product. What you want to do is understand which angle are you going to go after for your marketing. How are you going to position yourself, your brand, and your product? So here's a basic framework that I recommend. You want to understand your product, your target market. So this is based on all the research you've done, right? And obviously you'll be taking notes and whatnot. Product, target market, what are the solutions, but then what are also the complaints, right? So let's say now you have a sleep supplement. This is the target demographic. They're using melatonin and magnesium. The complaints are tolerance, taste, and slow onset. Now, output to extract, you tell Gemini, okay, give me some positioning angles, reframe these things, and help me differentiate myself from, you know, X, Y, Z. And then, of course, it's going to pump out a bunch of valuable stuff. And then the action step here is just select your 3 to 5 best angles, and you're going to gather this for testing ads, right? Cool, so that is step 5. Now we're going to go over to step 6. And then now what you want to do is actually go on Meta Ads Library. And you just want to see you want to see what's working, right? So this is obviously a very good platform. It just tells you about people that are running ads right now on Facebook. And you want to obviously cross-reference, right? So look at active ads that's been running for 90 plus days. And the reason why 90 plus days matters is because losing ads don't run that long. But if something's been running for a long time, then it's most likely profitable, and people are, brand owner is reinvesting money into that ad, right? And of course, you want to gather up some competitors. So what you want to analyze is a good hook. So the videos that have been working well, which ones have a good hook? Understand the structure of the video, the structure of the copy, also the structure of the PDP, advertorial, whatever that is. And then you want to obviously analyze the offer, the visuals, and then just the angle that they're going after, right? So you want to model, don't copy one of one. You want to model. You don't there's nothing new under the sun. That's very important, right? So you don't need to reinvent the wheel, right? Just see what's working. How can you make it better? That's literally what most people have been doing for the longest time in any business field or in any sort of business model. So from there, we can move over to step 7, right? And now you want to prepare the ads, right? So now you combine your insights from all the research we've done from Amazon, from Gemini, from Meta, right? And then what you want to do is your inputs, right? So you want to structure from competitors, positioning from Gemini, and then differentiate yourself based on the reviews, for example, from Amazon, right? And then example comparison, have a same structure, a different mechanism, but then a stronger guarantee or some sort of stronger USP that you have. And the creative testing plan, you want to have a good hook, very good proof. Social proof is massive as well, authority, before and afters, all of that sort of stuff. And then a strong offer, right? So I think having a strong offer is going to be very, very important. And of course, that's a video for another day where I will explain to you guys how to, make strong offers. Now we move over to step number 8. So now you want to validate fast with meta ads, right? So meta, I'm personally a Google guy. On Twitter, I yap a lot about Google ads and give a lot of game there, but Facebook ads is also important and also powerful. And there's a very fast feedback loop with it, right? So typically with testing, you can just get fast feedback, right? I'm not going to make a video. I'll make a video in the future. I'm not going to discuss it right now about like the best campaign structure and like how to go about it. Honestly, doesn't make a massive difference. Typically, you can have this testing campaign, this testing structure. You can have a CBO, with multiple angles. So like each ad set will have, you can leave it broad and then have multiple, each ad set will have one angle. You can have ABO. Honestly, it doesn't really matter too much because I feel like people that are watching this video probably understand e-commerce and have ran ads and have some sort of proof of concept, right? So they probably have their own strategies. Decision rules. Again, this is just like, I'm not going super deep into these. I will in the future. I'm going to start creating separate videos for these things with a similar structure with the mirror boards and stuff. But yeah, you can let it run for 3 days, kill users and scale winners, right? In very simple terms, that's what you're going to want to do, right? And then in terms of ROAS benchmarks, this is meant to say 200%, but yeah, under 2, it depends on your break-even ROAS as well. But, you just want to be hovering around break-even, right? Especially in the testing phase. If you're way below break-even, then I think there's a lot of things to improve on, and you can look at the data. Let the data guide you. That's a very important point, right? Is the CTR low? Are you getting clicks to the website but people aren't converting? Maybe the conversion rate issue. Maybe the price is too high. Let the data guide you. That's one of the biggest things I've learned. You have to be objective. Don't be subjective, and don't cut things too fast, right? Like if you're getting add to carts but no sales, okay, work through the the customer journey, right, and optimize that. And then step number 9 is, obviously you can start with Meta, you can start with Google. That's a conversation for another day, but you definitely do want to run Google ads. I think Google ads is very, very powerful because of its middle of funnel traffic, right? So in simple terms, Meta teaches Google scales, right? So what you can do is with the metadata that you have from testing, you're able to actually understand a lot of the demographics, a lot of the winning hooks, demographics, the offers that are working well, and then start using that in your Google search campaigns, for example, in your branded search, in your shopping titles, right? And of course, I'm going to be breaking, Google's my thing. I've done very well with Google ads and e-com, so I'm going to be breaking down a lot of Google ad stuff. And then the ecosystem play, Meta, creative validation, Google, capturing intent, right? That's the power of Google. Cool. Step number 10, we're almost done. This is in terms of scaling, right? I've been in the game for a long time. People that scale aggressively, I see it happen time and time again, it never works too well. You definitely want to be scaling incrementally, right? So, for example, week 1, $100 a day, then week 2, $150. And again, only scale what's working, right? If something's not working, don't scale it. Don't force the algorithm to figure it out. It's just not going to work, right? So make sure you're very smart with your cash flow and you're smart with where your money's going, right? So scale what's working, but scale slowly. And also know how to reinvest and where to reinvest, right? If you're running meta ads, a big part of that will be reinvesting into better creatives, right? And then, this is just a little framework about scaling. Again, I'm going to, make more videos with more technical source regarding that sort of stuff. And then you just definitely want to nail the basics, right? So this is very, very important, right? Because a lot of people, they view ads as the silver bullet, but it's actually not. It's just one part of the ecosystem, right? And that's arguably the biggest thing I've learned is, scaling exposes weaknesses, right? So you want to make sure you have a very strong funnel, right? And then also your customer success, right? So the customer is the most important person, right? So you want to make sure you're following up with them, the people that have bought post-purchase stuff, people that haven't bought retargeting, right? But then also understanding using things like Hotjar or Microsoft Clarity, understanding where the drop-offs are happening, right? And then a website experience, this is very, very important. Fast, low times, optimized for mobile, real testimonials, good trust badges, just a safe, good, experience for the user. And then copy principles, definitely focus on the benefits, speak directly to the pain point. Don't yap too much, just be direct, right? Because as you know, the attention span these days is terrible. I feel like probably most people at this point have probably dropped off this video. If you're still here, then you're a real one and you're gonna go far in this life because you're able to actually focus on one thing. So quick shout out to you. And then obviously preempt objections and then strong guarantees. Another thing is finding a go-to supplier, right? As a Chinese supplier, that's typically where most of the suppliers will be. This is just so important. I can't stress to you how important this is. I've definitely had so many headaches with supplier BS, but Alibaba filtering is one method you could do. Verified supplier, trade assurance, just little features within Alibaba. Building a strong relationship with the supplier. This is obviously with time as you're scaling and you know that this product is actually, you want to turn it into a brand, right? Fly out to China if you can, right? I think, it's becoming a trend now. A lot of my friends do it that are doing well in e-com, and just building real life relationships is very, very powerful, right? Here are some questions you can ask, and then here's just a selection criteria. And then in terms of the relationship, your supplier is very important. Don't just view them as a Chinese VA. This is in a way your partner, right? Because logistics, you can be scaling, doing crazy numbers, but guess what? I'm crazy, have the best KPIs, but you're not able to ship the product. And guess what? All of that is for nothing, right? And then a big thing here, this can be a whole nother video, but just reinvest your cash flow into the business, especially when you're in the early stages. I don't think you have the luxury to start living your best life. When you have proof of concept, that should give you all the confidence and momentum you need to just double down and lock in and take it to the next level, right? So I see a lot of people, they scale, they start making 5 figures a month profit, then they just start blowing that on dumb shit. No, reinvest it, start hiring, build stronger systems, build, get a creative strategist, right? Hire somebody like myself to scale your Google ads, to scale your email, blah, 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 right? You definitely want to start doing that. And then also just scaling to 7 figures, right? A big key here is just locking in on the foundations, right? You just want to be better at the fundamentals, right? So for example, the funnel, the creatives, the retention, the margins, the team, right? This is what's going to take you to 7 figures, right? And kind of think of it like the 10% rule. 10% improvements in every mini field within your business is going to exponentially compound the whole business as the business as a whole. So that's very, very important, right? But yeah, this is it. That was a lot to go over. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm definitely back on my YouTube grind. I've been quiet for a minute. I've just been getting hard on X and busy with my personal projects. But I'm gonna drop so much source for you guys. Anything you guys want to see, let me know in the comments. Follow me on X, hit me up on X, join my Telegram, I'm gonna leave the link below. I've got my website as well, I'm gonna leave the link below for done for you Google ads. I'm gonna start dropping more source about Google ads. And then yeah, just hopefully you guys actually listen and took notes, and most importantly, take action, right? If you take action on these things, I guarantee you're gonna be in a much better place tomorrow than you are today, right? Because you're making progress towards your goals and your dreams, and you're taking action, right? This is a no-nonsense brain, a no-nonsense guide, right? So definitely apply it, and any questions you guys have, definitely let me know. Peace.